Hey guys, ETN here from SunBros, and today I am really excited to be bringing you guys the second installment of our how to build video. We're going to be covering Violet, the #1 marksman in Arena of Valor. Before we get started with the video on how to build Violet, I just want to say thanks guys for watching the content. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course check out all our other great content for Arena of Valor. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Violet. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to her hero page and check out her abilities so we can best figure out what makes Violet tick in order to figure out how to build her. Now, Violet's passive is Reload. Normal attacks reduce tactical fires cooldown by half a second. Obviously, that's a pretty big deal because tactical cooldown is her first ability, or tactical fires are first ability. And we'll read over that one. Tactical Violet rolls forward, enhancing her next normal attack and dealing extra physical damage to enemies on a straight line. The subsequent normal attack within a short period of time retains the range of the enhanced normal attack. Tactical Fire also gains a 50% movement speed bonus that declines over 2 seconds if there are enemy heroes nearby after rolling. So essentially, this is actually what the passive boosts. Obviously, if you guys ever played Violet, Violet's roll is her best ability. She rolls forward, she does a very high range, super high damage attack, which can be followed up with an immediate extra normal attack. So pretty nice actually ability, and the fact that her passive just reduces the cooldown is really good because you just get to do it over and over again. And again, it's one of the highest damage abilities in the entire game. Next, we're going to cover her second ability, Fire in the Hole. Violet throws a grenade dealing physical damage and slowing movements by 90% for 1 second. So everything that she has builds off of attack damage. You see that. We also see the importance for the big time hits, because tactical fire really 1-2 punch. And if you're able to, you know, from my perspective, what we're going to do is we're going to build some crit on her, because if you're able to crit one of those shots or both of them, it's going to be a really massive chunk of damage. It's one of the reasons why Violet is one of the highest burst damage heroes of the game. And lastly, of course, her ultimate concussive rounds. Violet fires concussive rounds at nearby enemies, dealing a ton of damage. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that the Wonder Woman video was a little bit different, because what we did was I hadn't played Wonder Woman yet, so we discovered Wonder Woman together, we read about her abilities, and then we figured out a way to build her. I already have a Violet build, and I'm going to explain to you why I do what I do with it, and why I pick each item instead of something else. So let's go ahead and go to the equipment page. This is the Violet build, and we're going to start with the first item, Clave Sancti. So Clave Sancti is pretty simple for me. Violet does best, especially early game, with a lot of critical damage, because what happens is she ends up hitting like a truck with her first ability, Tactical Fire. As we've already discussed, you can actually cast that ability repeatedly thanks to the passive. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we crit as often as possible with both of those shots, particularly the first one because it is enhanced. So Clave Sancti gives us attack damage. It also gives us the unique passive at the bottom of 30% crit chance, which is an F ton to start with. And if you're like me, I have a lot of crit stuff already in my Arcanus, so it builds even further. And then of course the passive on that, Gift of the Swift, after dealing a critical hit, movement speed is increased by 3 per hero's level. Lasts 1.5 seconds, so it's not bad. It's a nice little free boost in attack speed, or movement speed rather, and you also get the movement speed buff from her first ability, Tactical Fire, when you crit with that. So it's actually kind of a double, when you roll and there's an enemy nearby. So it's actually a double, movement speed boost potentially for her, which is really nice. And some of the other items, a lot of people they'll build the Beast first, or they build Fafnirs, or a lot of people used to build the jungle item first. Now, since that got nerfed, it's not really nearly as prevalent as it was before, and it really shouldn't be on her. It doesn't give her enough to really make a big difference. A lot of people are still building that, and if you guys are taking her jungler, obviously do that. But if you're building her in lane or anything like that, I would definitely go with Clave Sancti. The jungle item just isn't that good on her, and the combination of that and Fafnirs isn't what it used to be. So, Clave Sancti is going to be our first item we're going to go. Then we're going to go second, Gilded Greaves, because the one thing that can get you in trouble on Violet is getting caught with crowd control and burst it down. Obviously, a quick tip for you guys who are playing Violet, never roll forward unless you're chasing somebody down. Otherwise, roll side to side and, of course, backwards. So never roll forward because you can get caught a lot doing that. She rolls a pretty good distance, and a lot of times people roll forward. They roll farther than they think they're going to, than they expect to, and they end up being in the range of other people who she doesn't want to be in a range of. Excuse me. Okay, so Gilded Greaves gives us magic defense, which is going to be nice against any mages or mage assassins, but really what we're doing it for is the passive, the unique passive resistance, which gives us 35% less crowd control effects, which whether it's slows, knockups, stuns, whatever it is, you're going to have 35% less of it, which is always a plus, especially on a hero like Violet, who's big time burst damage. Third item we're going to get is Slick Sting. I'm going to continue on with my theme of getting more crit damage, and not only do we get crit damage, 20% crit damage, we get a little bit of attack speed on the side, we get a little movement speed, which is really nice to Violet. Any movement speed you can get her to make her more mobile is always a good thing. And of course the incredible passive Hurricane, which increases critical damage done by 50%. Again, I also build some of this with my Arcana, so it's really nice. It stacks up really nicely. But now I have 50% crit, not including Arcana. My crits are doing even more damage. So what it does is it actually stacks on that first shot after Tactical Fire, which is really starting to get extremely strong, which is what we want with Violet. We want her to have really high crits and really high incredible burst damage. Then we're going to go to what I think is a very essential and sometimes not used part of Violet's kit, which is the lifesteal. We got to have the Beast. The 25% lifesteal you get from this is too good to pass up on, and it's too important to her kit. The ability for Violet to be, you know, half health or anything like that, and with those big old fat disgusting crits that we can do, potentially even back to back on those abilities, we could potentially heal ourselves from halfway to full or even from a quarter to full if we hit really hard. So I definitely suggest the Beast. It just helps with sustain a lot, and honestly, one of the kind of underrated things that the Beast does because of the lifesteal is it allows you to stay out farming more time, because you're not backing to get health anymore, as you can lifesteal it and get it back on your own without having to go through the trouble of backing and then coming all the way back into where you're farming. Next, we're going to go Omni Arms, and I'm telling you guys, Omni Arms is strong because of every reason. Omni Arms has a massive stack of great stats. Attack speed, attack damage, lifesteal, cooldown reduction, HP to help her be just a little bit tankier, and of course, her unique passive, or the unique passive Pentapower of Omni Arms, which is what makes Omni Arms one of my favorite items to get in the game for any damage dealing AD hero. And what it does is, after using an ability, the next normal attack within 5 seconds is going to deal an additional 100% more of your physical damage. It only has a 2-second cooldown. The great thing about that is that we're going to build a ton of attack power, or attack damage rather, on, physical damage on Violet. We have 100 on Clave Sanctity, we have 100 on the Beast, and we have 70 more here with Omni Arms. So those hits are going to be a big fat hit. So every time we roll, that first hit after we roll is now going to crit for massive damage. It gets the boost from Tactical Fire. It just keeps getting buffed up more and buffed up more and buffed up more. So that first hit after rolling is going to be massive. And then, of course, it's a double shot because you follow up with an immediate auto attack following that. It works as an auto attack or normal attack reset. So you can actually fire two subsequently bang bang back to back really fast. So Omni Arms makes this even more worth it. A lot of times Violet can roll, hit somebody with a double shot, especially late game, and just kill half their health, or even kill them in one shot sometimes if she's really strong when they're far behind. And then lastly, we're going to go Fenrir's Tooth. Fenrir's Tooth is giving us a flat 20% attack damage, or sorry, 200 total attack damage. I apologize, which is just insane, which is really boosting it. It's making our proc on Omni Arms even more powerful. It's making our overall hits even more powerful. One of the things that I think is underrated about Fenrir's with her is that it increases damage dealt by 30% when the target's HP falls below 50%. One of the cool things about this is when you're doing those double shots with Violet, frequently that first big Tactical Fire bang shot is going to drop below 50%. And what it's going to do is going to increase the damage of the second shot. So that second shot is going to do even more damage than it was before. And it makes that single roll with a double fire so potent. And then good Violets, what they do is they actually follow up. They roll, they bang bang double shot, and then they follow that up with the ultimate. And you can do it. You can actually aim the ultimate while you're firing the second auto attack, and then you could really roll, bang bang bang, and you can get 3 shots off in a row, and they all hit like a truck. You could easily one-shot somebody late game, mid to late game even, and even early game if you have some armor pierce on your Arcana, some more crit damage like I do. It's just really potent. This build is actually super strong on her. By end game, with all of these items, she is hitting like a truck. She's really hard to kill because she has really nice lifesteal. She's hard to crowd control because of the Gilded Greaves. It makes her really potent, and I have actually played well over 100 games on Violet. I played a lot of games on Violet, and I can tell you that I've gone from this build or a similar build to this to we had the phenomenon with the jungle item and Fenrir's Tooth, or not Fenrir's Tooth, with Fafnir's Talon. We were doing the percent damage. Was not a bad build at all, but I think after all the times that I played Violet on multiple different builds, this is the one I end up coming down to as the highest damage build on Violet that I've had, and the biggest burst damage that I've had. And it really, this is the most successful games and set of games that I've had on Violet has been with this build. So I'm really excited to share it with you guys. A lot of you guys have seen it before. You guys have probably seen it in action on live stream and seen how potent it could be. It is a monstrous build, and I'll tell you real quick, just so you guys are aware, if I'm going to be selling boots, which I could do, sell boots on this one, I'm going to be building one item or two. I'm either going to be building Rank Breaker, if I'm not going to build Rank Breaker, I'm sorry. If I'm having issues with tanks, I'm going to be building Muramasa, because I want to do big fat crit damage to them too. If tanks are either not that good in the game, or maybe there's just one and it's not really a huge massive problem, I'm going to sell boots and I'm going to buy Ancestral Glory to be able to combat that. Now, there's alternative builds with Frost Cape and stuff like that. I don't think the Frost Cape builds are as necessary as they were before when we were doing the jungle item build, because people can be bursted down and easily in 2 rolls. Whereas before, it took a little bit longer to kill them, even though the overall sustained damage was still pretty good. Frostcape build is still nice, and if you want to build it to be able to slow enemies down with that first shot after you roll, it's not a bad idea. I think, though, if you're playing with a good team and your goal is to, you're going to play with your position properly, you're going to be backline, you're going to be rolling and killing people, and you're going to be in a more of a safe space where you can sit back and do damage without really being all the time worried about being jumped and killed, then I think Frostcape is actually an okay item to drop. But that is it for this one, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you did, check out our Wonder Woman how to build video that we made. Of course, check out our how to play Arena Valor series and all of our other great content. We have top 5 videos. But I appreciate you guys watching the video, and as always, till next time.